Hi, I'm Ben Mosher, and I just wanted to quickly share with you what the Lord's done in my life. This has been years ago, but when I was like longboarding, I like longboarding. I like being active and stuff. And I took my longboard out on this trip, and I was just cruising around, and I saw this hill, and I was like, I'm going to go down this hill and gain some speed. Well, I didn't realize how much speed I would actually gain when I went down this hill, and I started going quick. And way more than I could control. I was fairly new at longboarding, and my board started to like shake and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna fall off this thing. And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, I have three options. I can fall off, I can try and ride it out, or I could try and jump off and run to try and slow myself down. And falling off wasn't a great option, and neither was trying to ride it out, because the hill went on and then it took this like turn, and I was like, oh no. So I was like, the last and only option is to just run it. And so I jump off my board and start running, and I make about 2 steps before I can't keep up with the speed I'm going. I just fall and I take a good tumble. Board goes flying into the woods, and I'm like laying on the concrete or by the side of the road, just laying there like, oh, it did not feel good. And so I get up and to try and get my board and walk back, and I felt like I was going to pass out, like it was bad. And so I just laid there for a while, and thankfully I had some friends to come and help me and everything. But I say all that because, I started years later, and it would bother me. My knee would bother me every now and again and stuff. And years later, I go to work out at the gym, and I'm trying to, get in shape and all of that. And I'm going to lift, do a shoulder press. And I couldn't do the shoulder press and do much weight without it just really hurting and just being like, just not right and uncomfortable. And so that went on for a little while. And then we had this guest minister over at our church, and he, asked if anyone needed prayer. And I was like, well, my shoulders do. So I went up and I told him, what I needed. And he started praying. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. And he starts praying, and he starts praying for my back. And I'm like, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, why is he praying for my back? But I was like, you know what? I can receive from the Lord. I'm going to receive from the Lord. And so in that moment, when I chose to receive from God and just have that faith to go, you know what, God, you want me whole, you want me well, it felt like someone took, the best way I can describe it, felt like someone took an air pump to my back and was like pumping it up. My whole back like pushed up and out without me even moving it. It just did it on its own. It like pushed up and like went up. And I was like, wow, that was weird. And after service, my dad kept looking at me. He was like, did you grow or something? And I'm like, no, I don't know. And we went back and measured, and sure enough, I'd grown an inch. And God totally healed like my back. And from there on, I would go to the gym, do some shoulder presses, no pain, no problem, no uncomfortableness. And, I just wanted to share that with you because the Bible tells us that God, He loves us. And part of salvation isn't just, so we can not go to hell, but it's for the spirit, soul, and body that we could have life and have it more abundantly. It says He carried away our infirmities. He healed all of our diseases. That's part of God's plan for man. And if we grab hold of it by faith, we can see it happen. And so I just want to encourage you in that, God still heals today. He loves us. He deeply cares for us. And He wants to see us well. He wants to see us whole, to enjoy life and to serve Him. And so I just want to invite you to Life Church and Training Center. June 30th, we're having a special guest speaker come in, and it'll be at 10:35 a.m. And I believe if you come, you will be blessed. You'll be touched by the Lord.